Asian dating coaches, logos, and press releases won't get you laid for a day game. You've been lied to, and not just once, but over and over again. It's time to undo the brainwashing, because the truth is right in front of you. These so-called coaches, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They convince you that being on TV or in the press release is all you need to be an expert. And the thing is not just wrong, it's also dangerous, because what they're really doing is using those media appearances to manipulate you into believing that they're the real deal. Those press release logos that you see. They show you these press release media appearances and quotes from news sources on their websites and also in their video, I've seen on whatever. These logos, these headlines, to make you trust them. They know that many of you, especially Asian men, have been conditioned to trust authority figures. They know that you've been raised to respect that kind of credibility. But the reality is, all those press releases, they're just fluff. They mean nothing when it comes to day game results. Think about it for a second. You're scrolling through a website and you see all these news logos, CNN, NBC, whatever. And you might think, wow, they must be legit, right? Well, you've been thinking that because in your head, if the news is involved, then it must be real. But what does that being featured in the news have to do with you being able to get laid in day game? Absolutely nothing. So let me ask you this. If the coaches are flashing these press releases and news features, but they only have one day game lay testimonials, like ABCs of low self-esteem this year, they haven't gotten any of them during the entire inflation from the year 2022 to 2024. They have not gotten anything except for one Asian student in a Latin country, which is easier. My students have way more. They have 5 lays in a row in a Latin country, all in 1 to 6 approaches. So how do you explain that? Plus, they got laid with a white girl in the United States before those 5 lays. And also I have other students who are Vietnamese, who has banged an 18-year-old who's a 9 out of 10, what my other students have rated, objective stunner. Or else you got people that have been in the news before, like Matt Artisan, who only has 3 laid testimonials. 2 of them got a girlfriend, 1 got married, out of 400 students. That's right, 400 students. Imagine all the money they have taken from all these victims, people that deserve to get some kind of result. But out of all of that money that they make, 400 boot camps, only 3 got laid. Yet they're acting like they're experts. But luckily, he's not posting that press release on his website. The numbers don't lie. They tell the real story. So let's talk about the secrets behind it. The first secret is the myth of the press authority. Just because a coach has been on the news doesn't mean they can get you laid for a day game. Let me give you a specific example, and pay attention to this one because it is a perfect representation of how this entire fraud works. ABC's of low self-esteem Asian company, they've been on the news, right? They got their press coverage. They make sure you see those news logos on their site. It is the very first thing on their website. When you look, it says the word press. Why is that so important? Because it manipulates the Asian sheeps, the engineers, the Aspergers. But here's what they're hiding from you. They've only gotten 1 student laid for day game in a Latin country this year. Just 1 during the inflation. And guess where it happened? A Latin country. When they have their third world money and status advantage. Now, why is that important? Because in places like Latin countries, women are naturally more receptive to Asian men. It's easier to succeed there, and you're not dealing with the same level of resistance. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that they're counting on 1 success in an easy environment, then using that to sell you on the idea that they're good at day game. In reality, they're not. They're only showing you night game success stories. They'll talk about how the student pulled a woman in a nightclub, but they don't really get laid sometimes. They just use the word they got a romantic encounter. That means they did not get laid. When they say the word laid, then that means they really got laid. But it's in a loud nightclub in dark places where everyone is drinking. And they make you think that's equivalent to day game success. They'll say, look at our night game results. We're experts at game, but they are not. Night game and day game are not the same. Night game is easier. Loud music, alcohol, women already looking to hook up. These things make it easier to succeed. That's why they focus on it. That's why they try to blur the lines between night game and day game. But real day game requires real skills, social intelligence, emotional control. You need all those things to succeed in the daytime, where everything else raw is exposed. And this is where my students' results comes in. My students are getting laid in day game during the tough times, especially during the inflation. Not in easy countries like Latin countries. And they're not confined to nightclubs, but in real world challenging environments. And other dating coaches, they're only posting stuff from the United States when they claim, oh, they got some students laid in the United States, they must be good. I've never stepped foot in the United States and I got endless students laid in the United States, way more than they ever could. So basically, they only got 2021 stuff in before. But you want real proof? Just look at my 646 laid and po testimonials that I've got. These aren't just numbers on this screen. These are real results from real students in real world day game. That's a lot of success that you should be looking for. Not some dating coach or Asian dating coach like ABCs of low self-esteem. They're trying to flaunt their press release. The second secret is the press release fraud. Now let's go even deeper because it gets worse. The second secret is all about how these coaches uses press releases to manipulate you. It's all a scam, and I don't use that word lightly. Take Matt Artisan, for example. He's been all over the news, right? They show his bootcamp stuff, probably on the same network. He's got articles, he's got press releases. At least he's not featuring on his website anymore, but he's been featured in news stations. Where they won't tell you is that where the scam comes to light, out of the 400 students, Matt Artisan only has gotten 3 students laid. That's right, 3. I'm not sure if it's day game or not, but it could even be night game for all I know, but they got 3. Only 400 students. This guy's only been able to get 3 laid. That's right, for his boot camps. Less than 1% success rate. And yet he's making $500,000 a month. You heard that right. Nearly $500,000 a month now. This is the white privilege. Just be white. JBL. Off to the press releases, not results. How is he pulling this off? Well, he used to have press releases, I believe. Not anymore. But he was on the news. And just because they're in the news doesn't mean it's credible. Just because you see them on TV before, decades ago, does not mean he's credible. Just because you see their face in the article and they automatically assume this guy must know what he's doing. But in reality, he's just relying, like for ABCs, relying on night game results. This is what they call white plausibility, automatic trust, the halo effect. The same halo effect, but where are these day game results? I'm pretty sure he didn't get any this year. This debunks the press releases and being on the news. Unlike queefing cancel Casanova, being on the news just to get canceled by Brazil and indicted. So where are the late testimonials for day game that matters? He's got 3, ABCs has 1 during this inflation. Matt Artisan probably got years ago, but that's it. He's making millions because people see a press release and think, oh, he must be legit, but it's all manipulation. And here's the thing. He's not the only one doing it. These other coaches are doing the same thing. They're relying on press releases and media appearances to create false authority. They want you to think that just because they've been featured on the news, they must be successful. But the truth is, the result tells you everything for the students getting laid for day game. The third secret is expired methods and real results. And now we come to the most important secret of all. The only thing that matters is consistent day game late testimonials during the tough times. That's right. Look around you. We're living through the inflation. 2024 and 2023 are tough years, especially when it comes to dating. If a coach can't get students laid during a time like this, in 2024, their methods are expired. Their techniques don't work anymore. They became obsolete. A lot of these coaches, they'll show you old testimonials from before the inflation in 2021. But let's just talk about one of these coaches on the YouTube Live before I accidentally deleted it. somebody was asking me about tall, self-proclaimed high lay count coaches. And they're saying, oh, he got so much results. But I don't count Tinder testimonials because it is not pickup. An Indian from India could swipe for you on Tinder while you have good pictures and you also have some kind of flow chart. And just be white. Daygame, you need 20 out of 35 to get over the line of fuckability. Night game, because you don't need social skills and emotional control. Because you can't hear it in a loud nightclub. Therefore, for them, that's only 15 out of 35. That's not a lot. And lastly, Tinder is only 12 out of 35. Even ABCs of low self-esteem, as desperate as they are to get testimonials, are getting people in a very expensive Latin tour, and just to have Tinder testimonials, and only one guy got laid for Daygame in a mix of different game. Just one guy. The rest did not. So a lot of these coaches, they'll show you old testimonials from before the inflation. These are other coaches. But let's just talk about the self-proclaimed coaches. For them, if their testimonials are from Tinder, that is not a lay count. That's a body count. Because women can also get laid, but that's not a lay count because they're not using game. Other white guys who are tall and good looking, that does not mean they're using game. This is just a body count. If that's just a body count and the Indian guy could just swipe for you from a different country or have an assistant do it for you, then that's not really game. You're just collecting the lays. That's a systematic thing because it's not pickup. It should not count as testimonials. You can say it's Tinder testimonials, but to say that's the same as results, that means their lay count does not count either. They have a body count. You ask them how many pickup lay testimonials or Daygame lays did they get, or even night game. Their number may not be the same as the one they touted on their stupid Tinder stuff. It's completely all made up garbage. It's like a blue ocean strategy. They're just making this stuff up as they go. Red ocean means sharks are fighting against each other for a little bit of profit. Blue ocean means your own category. I'm in my own category. 646 laid and pulled testimonials for Daygame for pickup. Nobody has that. They only have 2021 stuff. They might post from going to the United States and they're saying how great they are. But in reality, I've never stepped foot in the United States. I've never stepped foot on there, and I got so many more students laid, which means what they're saying is not a big deal. But if their stuff is only from 2021, 2020, even earlier, we're talking about during the pandemic. The stuff back then was easier to get students laid, but when the inflation hits, they no longer have Daygame laid testimonials as they post old shit. People had more disposable income back then, and the dating market wasn't as tough. But now, things are different. People are struggling. Social skills are more important than ever. If a coach can't deliver results during these challenging times of the 2024 inflation or 2023, then their methods are outdated and worthless, and they have expired. That's right, they talk a good game, they call themselves the best, they call themselves the king, but in reality, that's a court gesture. They don't have 2024, 2023 laid poll testimonials. Tinder stuff no longer works. This is outdated garbage. It no longer works anymore. So, I want to make something more clear. Most of these coaches are living in the past. They're showing up results from pre-inflation times when things were easier. They're trying to convince you that those results still matter. But the truth is those results are outdated. Their game is dead. That's right, their game is dead. Daygame is harder now. The world has changed and the game has evolved. But guess what? I'm still getting laid testimonials. Even during the inflation, I'm still helping students succeed in Daygame, even when other coaches are failing. I have 646 laid and pulled testimonials for Daygame. I'm not talking about night game garbage. I'm talking about Daygame. And that's not a number that comes from outdated techniques. That's from skill maxing for social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, all the things they don't want you to listen to or mention. And that number comes from adapting, evolving with the times, and from understanding what it really takes to get laid in Daygame today. Let's be real for a second. If a coach is still using techniques from before 2021 and they're defrauding you because their old methods don't work right now, when in reality they don't. They'll try to hide it with press releases. They'll try to distract you with night game results. But at the end of the day, The results don't lie. Here's a solution for people that are Asians, they're engineers, they're nerdy people, and they automatically go to these ABCs of low self-esteem courses, or they go to Queefing, Cancel, Casanova, these platform scammers. That's right, these platform scammers. Let me ask you something. Is it okay to pitch my product to you? Look, I know a lot of you have been burned before. You spend thousands on overpriced boot camps, and they promise you results in day game, only to find out that they were based on night game tactics that didn't work in the real world. I get it. You had enough wasting your time and money on methods that don't deliver day game results. Stick with me. I got something designed especially for you, for Asian men, for engineers, for introverts, and for anyone that has struggled to make progress in day game. The program is for you. Let me pitch you the product. Let me tell you about my 3 months to proficiency bundle. This isn't some quick fix. This isn't a night game gimmick or a Latin country passport bro shortcut. This is the real deal. A deluxe package designed specifically to help Asian men get laid in the West for day game. Even if you're struggling for years, Asians always default to night game. They always want to engineer something that becomes easier. They want to avoid day game for some reason because they never want to stretch beyond what they can handle. When they listen to these platform scammers, they all quit day game now. You've been burned before. You spend money on boot camps that focus on night game and outdated methods. But this program, it's different. It's proven. It works. It's 646 laid and pulled testimonials to prove it. And here's what's included in the program. It guarantees your success if you follow all the instructions and adapt to what it needs to be done. Elite Day Game First Steps, a $7 value. This guides you through your first steps in approaching women successfully. Elite 30 from hard case to hero, a $250 value. A complete transformation of social calibrations that takes you from struggling to approaching consistently, pulling women home, and getting laid with them. Elite Access, WhatsApp Consulting for 1 year, $400. You have direct access to me through WhatsApp, where you can ask me questions anytime. Elite Inner Circle, 1 year membership, and you can only get in here with an invite only. If you get invited, you should take it. I don't invite most people, or else you're part of the 3 months to proficiency bundle or Elite 60. Very few ways to get to the inner circle. This is not an advertised course, but it's $200 a year. So get into my inner circle network with the top guys of my students and learn day game by applying my techniques in there. The secret sauce, Kaizen program, $2,000. A deep dive into incremental improvements with your body language, nonverbal communications, helping you master day game step by step. Elite 60, emotional mastery method, $2,000 value. Learn to master your emotions and maintain control during interactions with women. 3 months of proficiency is actually, that was the original name. It's called a 3 months of proficiency bundle. But normally this 3 months of infield analysis was $5,000. I'll review infield's recording and give you personalized feedback to sharpen your day game. Mental trauma cure, $1,000. Will resolve any emotional blocks or traumas that's holding you back. Text game for minority, not Tinder shit. For day game, $900 value. Tailored specifically for those who are facing unique challenges in texting who are getting flaked on nonstop. Now we're including 20 Skype sessions. $6,000 value because there's normally a $300 each Skype. That's right, it's $300 each Skype. Personalized coaching for 1 hour where we'll be deep diving into your progress. Total value, how much does all of this cost? Over $17,757. That's right, $17,757 worth of coaching and courses. But here's the thing, I'm not going to talk about pricing right now. Instead, I want you to make sure you're a good fit for the program. So you should actually call me to see if you're qualified for this program. I don't take anyone, and I only work with people who are serious about getting results in day game. So if you're ready to finally stop wasting time and money on these press release frauds and start seeing real success in day game, reach out to me. Give me a call. Go fill out the contact me form. Let's lock in your spot and start your infield review this week and get you on track to finally getting laid this year. I'm here to help, so let's do this.